Today's topic is a poem prescribed for Standard 8. Let me begin this session by telling you about hobbies. A hobby is something that you do regularly for pleasure during your free time. Some of the hobbies are stamp collection, coin collection, flower arranging, Lego building, photography, playing musical instruments, surfing through net, writing, quilling, sketching, etc. Now, let's see some of the pictures on hobbies. Gardening is a hobby. Some pursue cooking as a hobby. Listening to music is once again a hobby. Painting or drawing is once again a hobby. Traveling. Some people prefer to travel to different places and they opt traveling as their hobby. So these are the different hobbies mentioned and people take this as a pastime. Next, we'll go to the next one, reading. Reading is also a hobby and this reading plays a major key role in our topic. Now you find some children reading books. They have followed this, adopted this habit of reading and this is their hobby. Reading helps one to gain more knowledge and gather information. Here in the poem, My Hobby Reading, the poet lays emphasis on reading. Let me read the poem. My hobby is reading. It helps me in thought breeding. It takes me to places near and far. It keeps my rational doors ajar. It teaches me to cackle and cry. Without wings, it lets me fly. I wish if all the children could read in constructing a vigorous society, then we shall succeed. Now, this poem was written by Arunachalam Chandrasekharan. Now, the poet Arunachalam Chandrasekharan is a professional in library and information science. Apart from writing this poem, he has also written his own stories. Let me read this poem once again. My hobby is reading. It helps me in thought breeding. It takes me to places near and far. It keeps my rational doors ajar. It teaches me to cackle and cry. Without wings, it lets me fly. I wish if all the children could read in constructing a vigorous society, then we shall succeed. Now here in the first line, my hobby is reading. The poet says that his hobby is reading. So he gives emphasis to his hobby reading. It helps me in thought breeding. Now thought breeding means procreation or reproduction. So the poet tells that reading helps him in generating his thoughts, and he says that his reading habit helps him to think beyond. It takes me to places near and far. The poet once again says that it not only helps reading, not only helps me in thought reading, but he says that reading helps him to travel to places, that is the places nearby and far off places, both in imagination and reality. So these are the various ways how reading has helped the poet. Next he says that it keeps my rational doors ajar. Now rational here means intelligence and ajar means slightly open. Now reading has made the poet intellectually sound, and this and his doors has been opened out of his intelligence. It has also, this reading habit has helped him to be creative. That is why the poet Arunachalam Chandrasekharan has become a creative writer. Next he says that it teaches me to cackle and cry. Cackle means an informal laugh. So he says that reading has taught him to differentiate between the good things in life and the bad things in life. In other words, we can say that reading has helped him to differentiate between the good and the evil. Not only this, he says that it has helped him, reading has helped him to express his feelings. Next he says that without wings it lets me fly. You must have seen birds flying with the help of their wings. Here the poet says that reading has helped, his hobby reading has helped him to fly without the help of wings. Then he says, I wish. Here the poet's desire is expressed, and let's see what the poet's desire is. He says that if all the children could read, so he says that we should encourage all the children to read, and if all the children are able to read or create an interest in reading, then they will be able to construct, constructing means creating a vigorous society. Vigorous means powerful. So the future generation, that is the children of this day, will be definitely able to create a powerful society. Then we shall succeed. In that case, definitely we are going to yield fruitful results. Now this poem shows that the poet has great concern for the society. So the theme of this poem is reading maketh a man. So here the poet says that gives the benefits of reading. He says that reading has helped him in thought reading. Then it also helped him to travel to nearby and far off places with the help of his imagination, and it also helped him to fly without wings. So finally he says that reading would definitely help children to build a better society. So the emphasis is laid on the hobby reading. Next, let's see the rhyming words given in the poem. Now rhyming words, to identify the rhyming words, you have to see only the last word in each line. So here you find reading. Reading is the last word in the first line. So reading rhymes with breeding. So reading and breeding are rhyming words. Next you have far. Far and ajar. Once again they are rhyming words. Far rhymes with ajar. Next you have cry and fly. So cry and fly are rhyming words. Next you have read and succeed. So read rhymes with succeed. So these are the rhyming words mentioned in this poem. Once again I repeat the rhyming words: reading, reading, far, ajar, cry, fly, read, succeed. Next we'll see the rhyme scheme. Now rhyme scheme is the ordered pattern of rhymes at the end of the lines of a poem or verse. Let's see the rhyming words given in these lines. Now, to identify the rhyme scheme, you have to first identify the rhyming words. Now, you have to see only the last word in each line. Me, cry, wings, fly. So, in the first line, the last word is me. Now, me does not rhyme with any of these words. So, you have to write the alphabet A here. So, next to me, the alphabet A is to be written. Next, in the second line, the last word is cry. Now, cry rhymes with fly. So, after the alphabet A, next alphabet is B. So, since cry rhymes with fly, here you write B here. So, now you have A, B and B here. Next, here wings is left out. So, after the alphabet B, next is the C alphabet. So, wings does not rhyme with any of these words. So, you write C here. So, the rhyme scheme or the pattern here is A, B, C, B. So, the rhyme scheme for these given lines is A, B, C, B. Next, the poet has introduced a number of poetic devices, and one such device, poetic device, is alliteration. Now, alliteration is the use of the same letter or sound at the beginning of words that are close together. Now, you find 3 lines which are taken from the same poem, and to identify the alliteration, one has to see the the initial letter and the initial letter. Here in this word, C is the initial letter given, cackle, first letter is C. Again you find this word cry. Here also you find the initial letter or the beginning letter C. So the alliterated word is cackle and cry, because C, you find the same letter C repeated here. Here also in this word the first letter C is given. So cackle and cry are the alliterated words. In the next line, again you see W. In the first word without, W is the first letter, and in this word wings, W is the first letter. So without and wings are the alliterated words. Here we find this yes, shall. The first letter in shall is yes. So too in succeed, the first letter is yes. So shall and succeed are once again the alliterated words. So the alliteration, you know that it is the same letter or sound which is found at the beginning, initial stage, the repetition, and that too which is close together. You find them close together. So this is the alliteration. It's a poetic device introduced by the poet in this poem. Next, you have the next poetic device, that is the figure of speech. Now, figure of speech here, and as an example of these two lines are taken from the poem. One figure of speech is taken as an example for you, and it takes me to places near and far. And here the figure of speech is oxymoron, and here oxymoron states contradictory terms. Here you find the contradictory terms here, near and far, conveying the opposite meaning, and hence the figure of speech in the given line is oxymoron. Next, let's see the synonyms. Let's see the synonyms given in this poem. Here, breeding means procreation or reproduction. Rational means intelligence. Ajar means slightly open. Now, cackle is an informal laugh. Constructing means establishing or creating. Vigorous means powerful. So these are some of the synonyms which is given in the poem. So let's, before I could conclude, let me once again tell you the gist of this poem, My Hobby, Reading. Now here in this poem, the poet lays emphasis on his hobby, that is reading. He says that he speaks about the benefits of reading, and here he says that it helps him in thought breeding. His hobby helps him to travel to nearby and far off places with the help of his imagination, and it also helps him to fly without wings. Finally, he concludes that children as a whole, if they develop the reading as a hobby, would certainly be able to build a better society. So, it is a message for the children that children should develop the art of or cultivate the habit of reading. With this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you.